Hey everyone. Amit, there's been a lot on the news, and it gives me an insight on like how Shoptype and the Awake ecosystem associates with media in general, media companies, be it like press or like other forms of media. How do we associate Shoptype with media?
So, Shoptype is a multi-sided network of networks. In other words, it's an internetwork. Its job is to interconnect existing networks with each other. And what kind of networks? On one side, you have media networks that create content. This is publishers, agencies, magazines, newspapers, people that are creating marketing content, content marketing, sponsored content, creators, influencers, just regular users, anyone that's creating content. So content is one side of the equation. The other side, of course, is commerce, which allows you to bring in products and services of all types, digital, virtual, regular, services, subscriptions, what have you.
Yeah.
And the question of how to connect the two is really what we speak to media companies about, saying that you already create a lot of content, you already have eyeballs, you're trying to monetize using advertising, you're struggling with that because of Facebook and Google and how they've taken away advertising revenue and programmatic revenue and all this big tech stuff.
Yeah.
And so what to do? What we say is we connect the content creators, the consumers, which is the people reading, the people sharing, people curating, and all of this into a fully trackable series of events that ultimately when lead to sales, which is retail sales. That's how content works. Content drives commerce. Media drives commerce, right? That's why you do content marketing.
Yeah.
So this natural social journey of discovery, engagement, and eventual purchase is called the buying journey. And it's happening across different platforms and internet, content discovery and engagement locales, on the internet. And so as this happens, today, each platform is keeping the credit for whatever happens within their platform. What if we can take that credit out of there and stick it onto the content itself and the people who are doing that work of creating, curating, consuming, and sharing on various platforms? If we can shift the attribution to the people, then what happens is we can know the entire buying journey of the buyer. And when a purchase happens, we can look backwards and pay all the right content people in the middle.
Okay.
So this changes the way attribution works, how sales happen and how we account for them and pay for them in a perfectly transparent, post-paid, performance-driven manner.
Yeah.
So this adds a new revenue stream to publishers and media companies. They continue to do what they're already doing, but they now add on a new orthogonal revenue stream that makes them a lot of money, but they don't have to do anything particularly different.
Okay. And just to clarify, they did not, even like from tech perspective, they did not like switch a lot of things and shift their entire, let's say, URLs or something like that.
My previous company, one of my previous companies was called Quintype, is called Quintype, right? And during those, that's a CMS company. We used to sell, moving CMSs to do a better, everything. But now we don't do that. We don't need to move CMSs. You don't need to change anything. Any content can be turned into this trackable, shoppable, native unit because we are adding a protocol layer to the HTTP content itself. So we don't need to now move or do a lot of stuff. We like to tell people that they can change everything by changing nothing.
Yeah, that's what, like, I mean, like for them, because since they already have a lot of eyeballs, like a lot of traffic on their websites or whatever places they're active on, and they would not prefer to move from there. They would not prefer to change things and change the way things that are working for them. So we just put on an extra layer, an extra revenue stream for them without changing anything.
Yeah, because what's really missing is this tracking across platforms.
Yes.
And if we can do that, then a lot of things become possible. If you're able to connect, non-connected things, suddenly you've got a new network of things that are possible. And all the networks in the world today are disconnected from each other.
That's true.
So we reconnect networks.
And it holds true for it doesn't matter what's the size of the company or what the size of your publication is. Even if it's large scale or small scale, it doesn't actually matter. If you have eyeballs, if you're driving traffic, then you can simply just add this on.
Yeah, so it's direct, right? If you're an influencer and you have a few followers or friends, or you have a lot, it's you talking to them. It's you sharing with your network, and everyone has a network, right? So when we say network, it's a very abstract thing. It's media network, but it's also people's networks that are virtual in nature. They exist across various platforms on the internet. So people share everywhere because people belong to all these networks. Right. So how do we integrate these networks that are not, today connected to each other, and you don't want them to change anything? Is by changing their members. Right? There are the common members across all these networks.
Yeah.
So that's as simple as that. People belong to multiple networks, and that's the connective tissue.
Of course. People are the ones who are actually transitioning from one network to another or doing the work. Yeah,
they're doing the work. So only the humans can either do the work or can consume the work or can buy something. So why not go direct?
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Amit. Thanks so much for clearance on a lot of media stuff, because I think people usually get a little bit difficulty in understanding how content and e-commerce can be a part of the same thing without actually doing nothing. As you said, do everything without doing anything. So thanks so much.
Yeah.